Hailey Van Lith, TCU star. I think the 11th pick in the WNBA draft. She got drafted by the Chicago Sky. She used to be teammates with Angel Reese, who is the star. I wouldn't call her the best player on the Chicago Sky. She's the star of the Chicago Sky. People are gossiping that Van Lith wants nothing to do with playing with Angel Reese again. He transferred after 1 year at LSU.
Did Hailey Van Lith just make the worst first impression in WNBA draft history? After being selected 11th overall by the Chicago Sky, her reaction to rejoining former LSU teammate Angel Reese was about as excited as someone casually watching Reese make a layup.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, the facial expression did look a little, I guess, uneasy.
And if that wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, she went on to disrespect Caitlin Clark on live TV. Is this the start of the most awkward rookie season we've ever seen? And could Van Lith be the one thing that finally unites Reese fans and Clark fans?
We are breaking it all down. Are you ready?
Let's go.
I love that energy. You know, she had a chance to drop. Great. Angel and I are familiar with each other from LSU. This is going to be awesome. Just easy, natural comments to make. It's my understanding that every one of those teammates at LSU hated playing with.
The 2025 WNBA draft was meant to be a night of celebration and fresh starts for every player selected. But when Hailey Van Lith's name was called as the 11th pick by the Chicago Sky, the cameras captured something no one expected. Instead of the usual excitement, tears of joy, or proud smiles seen from other draftees, Van Lith's expression showed what many fans described as pure horror. In that single moment, her face and the look of genuine dread during an interview, she became the main talking point of the entire draft.
Her facial expressions, like you saw them coming in to the video, her facial expressions were like, the F just happened to me.
The contrast couldn't have been more striking. While other players hugged family, pumped their fists, and beamed with pride, Van Lith looked like she was processing a nightmare in real time. The moment her name was announced, her eyes widened, her smile faded, and a clear look of dismay washed over her face. Even though she pulled herself together seconds later, the damage was done. Viewers had already seen her true reaction, not the polished one she tried to replace it with. Social media exploded within minutes. One post, showing Van Lith's reaction with the caption, "Hailey Van Lith smiling through the pain of returning to toxic hell," racked up over 6 million views, striking a chord with fans who instantly picked up on the subtext. After all, this wasn't just any team selection. It was a forced reunion with Angel Reese, a former teammate with whom Van Lith seemed to share a complicated history.
Get this face. Look at this face. God bless her. I mean, the pain and anguish. That's not, I'm about to lose it and I'm happy to be drafted and all. No. Let's not even go down that road.
The awkwardness reached new heights during her post-draft interview when she responded to questions about rejoining Reese with a tight-lipped, "Oh, I love that energy." That felt about as genuine as Reese's heavily edited workout videos. The comment quickly became fodder for critics, who sarcastically mimicked her response and didn't hold back their skepticism about the situation.
You always have to deal with locker room issues. That's just part of coaching. In 40 years, I can never think of a time where I didn't have to deal with issues. That's what coaches do. Sometimes y'all know about them and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want to know more than you're entitled to know. I'm going to protect my players, always. They are more important. It's like a family, Scott.
What made the moment even more uncomfortable was the sharp contrast with Reese's apparent enthusiasm. While Van Lith seemed to be dreading the reunion, Reese took to social media with a message, "We ain't do it right the first time, let's run it back." The statement could be interpreted as either blissfully unaware or purposefully provocative, depending on how you look at it.
Like a girl that was excited to be selected where she was selected, and Jason, I think if I'm reading in between the lines, these two did not enjoy playing with each other the first time, so I don't know why either one of them would be excited to run it back. I think could there maybe, Jason, do I detect some potential jealousy maybe here between Angel Reese, who wants to be the central figure in every story that she's a part of, including the
draft night disaster suddenly cast a spotlight on what had previously been speculation about Van Lith's time at LSU. After transferring from Louisville to join the defending national champions in 2024, her performance mysteriously declined. The star guard, who once averaged nearly 20 points per game, saw her production drop to just 11. 6 points alongside Reese.
I think Hailey would be reluctant to re-engage with a narcissist who was on a WNBA team last year that instead of trying to win games and compete, you would see them at the end of games, hey, Angel needs to score 4 more points and it'll take her about 7 to 8 to 10 shots to get there. And so they would shut down everything they do and feed the ball to Angel Reese at the end of the game so she could keep her.
LSU coach Kim Mulkey's previously cryptic comments now seem to carry new weight. When asked about locker room issues during that season, Mulkey had ominously stated
experience what's it like to play with Angel Reese, who is a narcissist and selfish, and my understanding, a nightmare for all teammates to deal with.
Combined with Reese's mid-season absence and Van Lith's eventual transfer to TCU to escape what many saw as a tough situation, the puzzle pieces began to fit together. The draft night reaction wasn't just about basketball. It was about mental health and professional autonomy. As Jason Whitlock pointed out, Van Lith has been very open about her mental health struggles. She's even cried on camera about how much better things were at TCU. Her transfer there was an attempt to revitalize her career and find a healthier environment, making the Chicago selection feel like a cruel cosmic joke, forcing her back into a situation she had purposely left.
HVL is feeling sick. I feel terrible for her, I do. The year before at Louisville, almost 20 a game. What does that tell you about her hell that she's got coming? She got away once.
For the Chicago Sky, the situation raises uncomfortable questions. Have they just drafted a player who already has significant chemistry issues with their apparent franchise player, Angel Reese? Will the tension between Van Lith and Reese undermine team cohesion before they've even stepped on the court together? The concerns around team chemistry aren't just fan speculation anymore. They're written all over Van Lith's face for the world to see.
That she's underpaid. You see this, obviously. She's only making $70,000 to jack up brick layups and airball layups somehow in games that no one wants to watch. Oh, poor me, I'm only making $70,000. Not mentioning the additional couple, probably million she's making in sponsorship and additional revenues allotted to her from playing in.
Team chemistry concerns weren't just visible on draft night. They were evident in the statistical record long before Van Lith's expression told the whole story. When a player goes from headliner to afterthought, the numbers reveal everything about what really happened behind the scenes.
According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
Remember, at Louisville, Van Lith wasn't just good. She was the centerpiece of a major program's offense. Her 19.7 points per game made her one of college basketball's premier scorers, the kind of player coaches design entire game plans around. She was a volume shooter who earned those opportunities through consistent production and leadership. Then came the transfer to LSU, and everything changed. The drop in Van Lith's production wasn't just about adjusting to new teammates or a different system. Her scoring plummeted by over 40%, falling all the way to 11.6 points per game. The kind of statistical nosedive that raises serious questions about how she was utilized in the offense.
Definition of stat padding, you are down by 22 points, and you've got the Fever's bench player, bench player, bench player, bench player, bench player, playing against bench player, bench player, bench player, bench player, starter, just so that she can get her double-double.
The most for a rookie in a single season. She's going for it. Dribbling off the try, spins. Bucket is good. 23 triple doubles on the season. Another rookie.
But the raw scoring numbers only tell part of the story. What's more revealing is how her opportunities vanished. Game tape from LSU's season shows a clear and concerning pattern. Van Lith was often stationed in the corner, essentially removed from offensive sets, while she stood waiting for passes that rarely came. Angel Reese dominated possessions, shot attempts, and offensive rebounds.
Hailey had her worst season playing with Reese, and it wasn't even close. I just showed you the numbers. Hailey Van Lith, smiling through the pain of returning to toxic hell. There's your boy, right?
Interview. This wasn't just bad luck or a poor fit. It seemed systematic. Basketball analysts noticed Van Lith's diminishing role and the visible frustration that came with it. Far too often, she was open for shots but ignored by teammates, creating a feedback loop that increasingly marginalized her contributions. The offensive strategy at LSU mirrored troubling reports about priorities within the Chicago Sky system last season. Just as LSU's plays seemed designed to inflate Reese's statistical profile, Teresa Weatherspoon reportedly lost her coaching position with the Sky, partly due to an offense too focused on maintaining Reese's double-double streak rather than maximizing team success.
Stand at the three-point line wide open while that girl is chasing the new rebounds record. That's exactly what's...
Remember this play.
She cut the cancer out and it came right back.
Consider what this means for Van Lith's development. A player who thrived as a primary option suddenly found herself relegated to a supplementary role that failed to leverage her strengths. Her shooting percentages suffered, her confidence seemed to wane, and the player who once commanded the court at Louisville became almost unrecognizable. Jesus, Hailey had her worst season playing with Reese, and it wasn't even close. I just showed you the numbers. Hailey Van Lith smiling through the pain of returning to toxic hell. There's your clue right there. The pattern of relegating teammates to support Reese's statistical achievements raises legitimate questions about what awaits in Chicago. Will Van Lith once again find herself standing in corners while plays run through Reese? Will the Sky's offensive system evolve to incorporate both players' strengths, or will history repeat itself?
Start, bench, cut, Diana Taurasi, Sabrina Ionescu, and Caitlin Clark.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
You're gonna get me in trouble when I'm only a rookie.
Oh, this seems wrong.
You're not gonna catch me because they are all great and I'm not gonna answer that question.
For Chicago's coaching staff, the challenge goes beyond X's and O's. It's about managing personalities and creating an environment where multiple talents can flourish simultaneously. The evidence from LSU suggests this won't happen naturally. It will require intentional strategy and possibly difficult conversations about roles and expectations. With this context, Van Lith's draft night reaction shifts from puzzling to completely understandable. It wasn't just about reuniting with a former teammate. It was about potentially re-entering a situation that had previously derailed her basketball trajectory. The statistical collapse at LSU didn't just hurt her draft position. It threatened the very foundation of her basketball identity. Interview.
The legend. We're going to start Diana Taurasi. I'm going to bench Sabrina and cut Kate.
Just when Van Lith thought her situation couldn't get more complicated, she single-handedly created a rivalry with women's basketball's brightest star, Caitlin Clark. And it happened, not on the court, but during what should have been a harmless draft night interview.
Oh, you gave a bad answer.
Yikes. Right off the bat, she's feeling the fire from Caitlin Clark fans. Now, she's already felt some fire from Caitlin Clark in the past. To be honest with you, during some LSU Iowa game.
During the 2025 WNBA draft festivities, Van Lith faced what seemed like a simple question. A standard start, bench, cut scenario featuring Diana Taurasi, Sabrina Ionescu, and Caitlin Clark. Her response.
They're all starting. I'll sit on the bench. I'm going to start Caitlin. I'm going to bench Sabrina. And I'm going to cut Diana. Even though that's the GOAT, I still got to do what I got to do. And yeah.
I would start Diana Taurasi. I would bench Caitlin Clark, and I would cut Sab. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start DT, bench Caitlin, and I'm going to bench Sabrina. I'm not cutting anybody.
Start Diana, bench Caitlin, and cut Sabrina. Sorry.
I can cut Diana Taurasi since she's retired, and then I'm going to start Caitlin Clark and bench Sabrina.
Can I start all of them? Yeah, that's
those final two words, cut Caitlin, instantly transformed what should have been a forgettable orange carpet moment into what might become one of the most consequential statements of Van Lith's young career.
Van Lith, you are very lucky you are going to be sitting on the bench for the Chicago Sky this year, because Caitlin Clark is going to probably do unspeakable things to your team the first time you play this.
Social media erupted immediately. Fans who had already been analyzing Van Lith's body language during her drafting now had concrete words to fuel their criticism. The basketball world seemed genuinely shocked. Here was an unproven rookie willingly placing a target on her back by dismissing the league's fastest rising star. What made this decision particularly puzzling was that other draftees, when presented with the same question, either tactfully opted out entirely or made sure not to cut Clark, recognizing both her talent and the unnecessary drama that would come from suggesting they'd cut her.
Look at Caitlin Clark. That's really good. That's really good. I mean, the look of pain on her face. Jesus again.
But to truly understand why this comment hit so hard, you need to know the history between these two players. This wasn't just a random rookie taking a swipe at an established star. This was personal. Clark and Van Lith have faced off in consecutive NCAA tournaments, with Clark's Iowa teams eliminating Van Lith both times in the Elite Eight. And these weren't just regular wins, they were dominations.
It's clear to start Clark. Shake my head. HVL's such a hater. It's going to be bad.
2023, Clark dropped an incredible 41 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists against Van Lith's Louisville squad, including a particularly memorable step-back three-pointer made directly in Van Lith's face. Fast forward to 2024, and the nightmare continued when Clark delivered another 41-point performance against LSU, frequently scoring while being defended by.
Oh, you gave a bad answer. Especially consider the fact you're playing the Fever Game 1. And I hope Caitlin Clark. This is a person who has played the last 2 times she played Caitlin Clark. I'm not joking when I say this. Caitlin Clark put 40 on her team's head. Put 40 on her head.
The history makes Van Lith's decision to cut Clark feel less like an innocent game answer and more like an attempt to reclaim some dignity after being repeatedly outplayed on college basketball's biggest stage. But what might have felt like momentary satisfaction has now created an entirely avoidable pressure cooker for Van Lith's rookie season.
Foot on the floor to guard Caitlin Clark. You better be pissed that your team drafted Sivka instead of Sanaya Rivers to guard Caitlin Clark. Because what Caitlin Clark is going to do to your team on May the 16th or 17th, whenever the game is going to violate the Geneva Convention.
Basketball analysts have compared Van Lith's move to a rookie insulting the CEO on their first day, a needless complication before playing a single professional minute. While some might argue it shows competitive fire, the reality is that Clark already had every advantage: more talent, more popularity, and more success. Now, thanks to that comment, she also has bulletin board material.
I don't want to give her more motivation. We saw what she did against Diana Taurasi. We saw what she did to the Mercury.
The May 17th matchup between Chicago and Indiana, which might have been just another early season game, has now become must-watch television. Every possession where Clark and Van Lith share the court will be scrutinized. Every basket Clark scores against Van Lith will be clipped, shared, and turned into memes. The pressure will be entirely one-sided. Clark has nothing to prove, while Van Lith has created expectations she now has to meet. This pattern of WNBA players taking unnecessary shots at Clark has become increasingly noticeable. Whether it stems from genuine competitive spirit or discomfort with the attention she receives, these comments consistently backfire, only boosting Clark's popularity while causing problems for those who make them. Interview for Van Lith. The stakes are especially high. After already experiencing a statistical decline in her final college season, she now enters a professional environment where she's reunited with a teammate linked to that downturn, while also having provoked the league's most popular player. For a rookie trying to prove herself, it's hard to imagine a more difficult set of circumstances. Interview. Talk about a powder keg ready to explode. The May 17th showdown between the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever has gone from a regular season matchup to must-see TV. What was already a highly anticipated game featuring Caitlin Clark now has an added layer of drama, thanks to Van Lith's cut comment. Basketball fans aren't just circling this date for the talent on display. They're watching to see if Clark delivers a statement performance against the rookie who disrespected her. The college rivalry between these two adds even more fuel to what promises to be one of the most watched regular season games in recent WNBA memory. If you're excited to see Caitlin Clark back on the court, type CC in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.